Hi everyone, it's Mari here. Thank you so much for joining me here today on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be creating a really fun project for you today using a bunch of scrapbook.com exclusive products. I had so much fun making this Slimline card today using the gorgeous products from scrapbook.com. So I'm going to share just a little sneak here of the project on the screen. This is the Slimline card that I'm going to be making with you today. And I'm going to start off with this beautiful Slimline Floral Stamp Set from scrapbook.com. This set comes with two sentiments, hello and thinking of you, and of course then just this beautiful, beautiful slimline stamp that has this gorgeous collage of flowers that you can see here. And what I decided that I wanted to do is stamp this out onto some white cardstock with Versamark ink and do a little bit of heat embossing. So here's my Versamark ink, which is just a clear sticky ink. And this clear ink stamps out, obviously, kind of invisibly onto that white cardstock. And then you can use some embossing powder over it. I'm just going to use a little bit of my anti-static powder tool here on my white cardstock. I'm just spreading that around because I am actually going to eventually stamp out this image twice to cover the entire white panel there with my heat embossed image. So I'm just going to stamp that out, get it stamped out on that entire piece of cardstock, and then I'm just going to take some white embossing powder and I will spread that embossing powder over all of the stamping that I have done on this cardstock. And once I've finished that part of the process, I will take my heat tool, I'll melt that, and then I'll take the panel back to my MISTI and stamp the image out on the rest of the cardstock. I will again use the embossing powder and melt that again so that, like I said, the entire panel has the white embossed image on it. Now that that's all nice and cooled off and ready for the next step, I'm just showing you here what that looks like once it's all embossed. I am going to do a little bit of ink blending with a foam blending tool here. So this is just a foam domed blending tool that I'm using. And I'm using some Seedless Preserves Oxide ink here. And I just love this color. I think it's so beautiful and vibrant. And I'm going to do a 3-color blend here. I am working on my Tim Holtz glass mat and just going ahead and picking up that ink and then blending it onto the cardstock over top of that white embossing. This is some worn lipstick, again, Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to blend the Seedless Preserves and worn lipstick together. This is just going to create just a lovely blend of those two beautiful colors. I'm going to just go ahead and get that on there, and you can just see I will blend back over the Seedless Preserves a little bit so that I do get a nice blend of those two colors where they meet up on the cardstock there. And just going ahead and blending down towards the white area there. And then finally, I'm going to use Wild Honey Distress Oxide ink, which is just this beautiful, rich, kind of a yellowy orange color. I love this color so much. And now you can just see that I'm blending that down towards the worn lipstick again in that white area and blending it down so that the two colors do blend together a little bit. And then I'll just go back with each of the colors and blend them together even a little bit more, just going over top of the Wild Honey with the worn lipstick a little bit here and getting just a nice gradation of color between those 3 colors where they meet up. So just love that blend. I think it's stunning, and this is just going to be a really fun piece to use for my project. Now I'm taking a little bit of paper towel or kitchen towel, whatever you would like to call it, just rubbing that over top of the embossing so that it just cleans that up. This is a really beautiful die from Pink Fresh Studio. I will link up to all of these different products that I'm using in the description box below if you want to find them. And I'm just going to die cut a bunch of those circled pieces from my cardstock. Now this is a Slimline die from Honeybee Stamps. Again, I will link this up. It just creates this really nice stitched slimline panel, and I'm going to adhere that to a really pretty cardstock base here. That really is the color of that Seedless Preserves ink. I'm going to just use my scrapbook.com smart glue here, and I'm going to use that on my card panel front to create that beautiful white base for my project. So I will just adhere that to my Slimline card base here. And now I'm ready to start to create all of the different details for my card front. So these are those die cut pieces that I die cut from my beautiful ink blended piece. And you can just see how these are going to create 3 really pretty little circle areas. What I did was I mixed and matched the little circle border piece with the different circles. I didn't use the same colors that were die cut from each of the areas. If you know what I mean, I just kind of like mixed and matched those borders so that they're just kind of like a little bit different. Now I did also use the word die from scrapbook.com. This is the word love. I love that. And I cut that from that ink blended piece as well. There you can see how I die cut that with my Gemini Junior. And I have also cut it from one of the pieces from that Floral Smooth cardstock pad from scrapbook.com. Just that really pretty light coral color. This pad has so many beautiful colors here, but you can just see where I've cut that love from that. And now what I'm going to do is take the offcuts from the ink blended piece and fill those in with the coral cardstock. So there you can just see I'm going to fill that in. Now you can see that I have popped up those circles, the center part of the circles, on some foam adhesive, and I just used my ruler to help me find the center portion of the Slimline card front there, just to help me figure out where these would be all lined up. And this is my Uptown Alphabet set from scrapbook.com. Love these dies so much. And I did cut out the word U from that coral cardstock from the floral cardstock pad. Now for my very center circle, I'm going to use the largest die cut from that Pink Fresh die, and I'm going to add that onto that center circle area there, so that only that center circle area there has that largest scallop piece on it. I just thought that looked really nice and just sort of like draws your attention to that area. Now I'm going to take my Love word die. I'm going to just finish off the edges with a little bit of Seedless Preserves. Just add a little bit of ink blending to the edges just to define the edges of this die cut piece a little bit more. And now I'm going to pop that up onto the center area of my card, and I'm also going to adhere the word U, which I've die cut from those Uptown Alphabet dies. And so my sentiment for my card is going to be love you. And then of course you could add another sentiment or just some writing inside of the card. So I really love how that looks. I think it's super pretty. Now I also wanted to add a few more another little bit of detail to my card. So what I did was I just took some gems, and I'm going to add a few of those to my project here with my Morphe Jewel Picker. Just going to grab 3 of those different gems in some different sizes. I'll add 2 just kind of above that circle, the center circle area, and then 1 kind of to the lower right of the center circle. Just adding 3 little gems for a little bit of sparkle and shine to finish off my card. I'll again use my scrapbook.com Smart Craft glue there to help me adhere those onto my card project. And there you can see how that looks when it's all finished up. So really love how this turns out. I love these scrapbook.com exclusives. They're so beautiful. And be sure to check out the links in the description box below to all of the products that I've used today and to all of the different places where you can find products at scrapbook.com. Have an amazing day, friends, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.